Welcome to this lesson on direct and indirect reported speech. In this presentation, we will learn how to transform someone's exact words into reported speech. This is an essential grammar skill that we use every day in English. Whether you are writing an essay, telling a story, or simply sharing what someone told you, understanding reported speech will make your English much more natural and fluent. Let us get started. So what exactly is reported speech? Let us say, someone tells you, I am going to the cinema tonight. Now, later in the day, you want to tell another person what was said. You have two choices. The first option is direct speech, where you repeat the exact words the person used. For example, she said, I am going to the cinema tonight. The second option is indirect or reported speech, where you report what was said without using the exact words. For example, she said that she was going to the cinema that night. Notice how the tense changes from am going to was going, and tonight changes to that night. These changes are the key to mastering reported speech. Now let us look at reported statements in detail. The golden rule is, when we report what someone said, we shift the tense one step back into the past. Here is our basic example. Direct speech. She said, I like ice cream. In reported speech, this becomes, she said that she liked ice cream. Notice how like changes to liked. That is the tense shifting back. Let us look at the present tenses first. Present simple changes to past simple. So I like becomes she liked. Present continuous changes to past continuous. I am reading becomes she was reading. Present perfect changes to past perfect. I have not seen becomes she had not seen. And present perfect continuous changes to past perfect continuous. I have been waiting becomes she had been waiting. Now let us continue with the past tenses and future tenses. Past simple changes to past perfect. I bought becomes she had bought. Past continuous changes to past perfect continuous. I was walking becomes she had been walking. Now here is an important exception. Past perfect does not change. Since past perfect is already the furthest back we can go, it stays the same in reported speech. Moving on to future tenses. Future simple uses will, and in reported speech, will changes to would. So I will see you becomes she said she would see me. Future continuous follows the same pattern. Will be playing becomes would be playing. For conditionals, would stays as would. And can changes to could. I can speak becomes she could speak. One important note. The modal verbs might, could, should, and must do not change in reported speech. Also, past perfect continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous tenses remain unchanged. It is not just the tenses that change in reported speech. Certain words related to time and place also need to change. This makes sense because when you report what someone said, you are usually speaking at a different time and in a different place. Let us go through these changes. Now changes to then. This changes to that. These changes to those. Here changes to there. Today changes to that day. This morning changes to that day morning. Tomorrow changes to the next day. Yesterday changes to the previous day. Next month changes to the following month. And ago changes to before. For example, if someone says, I will do it tomorrow, in reported speech it becomes, she said she would do it the next day. Remember these word changes. They are just as important as the tense changes. Now let us move on to reported questions. This is very similar to reported statements. The tense changes are the same. But there is one very important rule to remember. When we report a question, it is no longer a question anymore. So we need to change the word order from a question structure to a normal statement structure. We do keep the question word, such as where, what, or who. Let us look at some examples. Where do you live becomes, she asked me where I lived. Notice how do you live changes to I lived. The question word order is gone. Where is John becomes, she asked me where John was. What are you doing becomes, she asked me what I was doing. And who was that fantastic man becomes, she asked me who that fantastic man had been. In each case, notice that we use asked me instead of said, and the sentence follows normal word order. But what happens when we need to report a yes or no question? These are questions like, do you like chocolate? Or have you ever been to Mexico? Since there is no question word like where or what, we use the word if instead. You can also use whether but if is more common in everyday speech. Let us see some examples. Do you like chocolate becomes, she asked me if I liked chocolate. Do you love me becomes, she asked me if I loved him. Have you ever been to Mexico? Becomes, she asked me if I had ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? Becomes, she asked me if I was living here. The pattern is simple. Subject, then asked, then the person, then if, and then the rest of the sentence in normal statement word order. Remember, it is not a question anymore, so do not use question word order. Now, let us talk about reported requests. A request is when someone asks you to do something politely. It could be phrased as, please close the window, or could you close the window please, or would you mind closing the window please. All of these mean the same thing, so when we report them, we do not need to repeat every word. We simply use the formula, asked plus the person plus to plus the base form of the verb. For example, please help me becomes, she asked me to help her. Could you bring my book tonight becomes, she asked me to bring her book that night. Notice how tonight changes to that night, following the word change rules we learned earlier. For negative requests, we add the word not before to. Please do not smoke becomes, she asked me not to smoke. Please do not be late becomes, she asked us not to be late. This structure is very easy to remember once you practice it. Finally, let us look at reported orders. An order is different from a request. An order is a direct command, like sit down or go to bed. It is not polite like a request. The good news is that the structure is almost identical to reported requests. The only difference is that we use the word told instead of asked. So the formula is subject plus told plus the person plus to plus the base form of the verb. Let us see the examples. Go to bed becomes, he told the child to go to bed. Be on time becomes, he told me to be on time. For negative orders, we use not to, just like with requests. Do not worry becomes, he told her not to worry. Do not smoke becomes, he told us not to smoke. So just remember the key differences. For polite requests, use asked, and for direct orders, use told. The rest of the structure stays exactly the same. Let us quickly summarize everything we have learned today. There are 4 main types of reported speech. First, reported statements. We use has said that, and we shift the tense one step back into the past. Second, reported questions. We use asked, followed by the question word, or the word if, for yes-no questions. And remember, the word order changes to a normal statement. Third, reported requests. We use asked plus the person plus to, plus the base form of the verb. And fourth, reported orders. We use told instead of asked, plus the person plus to, plus the base form of the verb. Also remember to change time and place words, like today, to that day, and tomorrow, to the next day. And do not forget to change the pronouns as needed. Practice these rules regularly, and reported speech will become second nature to you. Thank you for watching, and happy learning.